and welcome back to Gwen's Book Reviews, where you will find reviews on romance, action and adventure, mysteries, thrillers, and suspense. If you have a book you'd like for me to review or one you'd like for me to promote, and I do promote other genres, please feel free to submit your requests via my website. You can find the link in the description down below. And while you're there, don't forget to press that subscribe button. Now let's head on to Boston, the setting for Dare to Stay, the second in the Sons of Stero series by Jen McLaughlin. As you can see, this is a romance, and quite a naughty romance it is. But before we jump straight to the review, there are three things I'd like to share with you. Favorite character, favorite dialogue, and an excerpt from the book. Now, Chris is my favorite character, and what a naughty dude he is. He's rough, he's tough, and not even a tad bit humble. But in his defense, he is reared from some not too parental parents, so he is simply playing the hand that he was dealt. Beneath that hard exterior is a soft interior, but that doesn't mean he's soft. Far from it. The only thing that'll get you killed quicker than disrespecting his colors is disrespecting his girl. A bad boy through and through, he is that character you're gonna hate to love. But I think you will love him. Now, speaking of Chris, my favorite dialogue happens to be some of his. Let's take a listen. Okay, do I even need to explain why that was a good piece of dialogue? Admit it, it was funny. And it was clever, and it was witty, and just all around great. That was a wonderful piece of dialogue. And let me tell you, when I read it, I was in the scene. I mean, I could feel it. I could feel the breeze. I could smell the trash in the alley. Not a pleasant smell, you understand? But I was right in the middle of there. So that just like amplified the emotion I had when I read that, and I did crack up laughing. But that was, I hadn't read anything quite like that before, so I hurried up and marked that in my head, like this is it, this is it, this is my favorite piece of dialogue. So now let's go to an excerpt from the book. That is actually the first page of the book, and what a great first page it is. Let me tell you, all you avid readers out there know that, like, if you're shopping for a book, whether it be in a store or you're on Amazon and it says, hey, you can read a little bit, it's important for that first page to grab you and make you want to read more. So that's a lesson out there for all of you aspiring authors. You gotta have a kick-ass first page. You have to. You have to bring it. And to me, this did, because I mean, you're probably saying, okay, he's in an alley, he's probably shot or stabbed or something, and why is this good? Well, it raised some questions that I wanted an answer to, especially when I've already read the blurb. So I mean, even if I hadn't read the blurb, I still think this was a great first page. So I'm like, okay, what happened to him? What are the events that led up to it? How's he going to get out of this mess? Is this the part when Molly comes? Something, because I know they reunite or whatever. But I wanted to know what was going to happen. And like I said, even if I hadn't read the blurb and understood Molly was going to be a part of this story, I was still interested, just because the first person narrative just does something. It puts you in the character's head. At least it does for me, more so than third person. And the fact that he's saying, I've lived this horrible life and I'm getting what I deserve, that was a stretch. He wasn't like pointing a finger. I don't want to say a stretch, but it's not always like that. Usually it's a point of the finger, someone else's fault, I'm going to get revenge. But he's saying, hey, I deserve this. But somebody told me like he wasn't going to lay down and take it. So all of that just had me going. And so once again, I reiterate, make sure your first page is really great. And this was a really great first page. So, got those 3 things out of the way. Let's talk about this book. Chris, as you know, gang member, so there's always somebody after him, and keep in mind this is the second in a series, so he did some dirty deeds in the first book, which we'll talk about when we do that review later. So, you know, basically he has enemies. Molly saves him out of this alley, and she takes him back to her place to recuperate. And of course, while he's there, you know, there's going to be some kind of talking going on. And it wasn't an off the bat kind of thing, like he's just jolly go lucky. He's very, you know, private, and he has to be to protect himself. But also he needs to protect her, because any kind of association with him could be dangerous to her. And she's more of a girl next door. She's not naive or crazy. She understands his lifestyle, but she doesn't turn him away. And that was one thing I loved about her. She's actually wealthy in her own right, like inheritance, she's an heiress or something like that. But guess what? She's also a teacher. She doesn't just live off her money, so she has this inherent need to help other people. And that makes her a really great character. So these two didn't have a lot in common, but they had chemistry. And I don't just mean in the bedroom. I mean, they developed this mental and emotional connection that is very, very strong. And I look for that in romance novels, and this book definitely delivered. So you have all this internal struggle, like Chris knows she deserves better, but he's, you know, so crazy about her, he can't stay away. She knows that she doesn't think she can adapt to his lifestyle, and that he's not going to give up that lifestyle, but yet she can't stay away. So the whole time I'm reading the book, it's very explosive and fast-paced, but my whole time I'm like, how are they going to settle this? And one thing I really, really love is there is no easy fix, and there was a compromise. Nobody really gave up anything, but they met each other halfway. And I'm not going to tell you how that is, because I don't want to be the spoiler girl, but McLaughlin, she did it on this one. She did it upright. So I really, really think you should read the book. With that being said, it is time for the rating. For those of you who are not aware, I use cups of coffee instead of stars, and it's actually the less the better. So where you want to have lots of stars, that tells your book is good. You want less cups of coffee, drink, you know, that I drink less coffee to get through the book. So basically 0 cups of coffee is equivalent to 5 stars, 1 cup of coffee is equivalent to 4 stars, so on and so forth. Here's the question: how many cups of coffee did I drink to get through Dare to Stay? Let's take a look. That is right. Boom! 0 cups of coffee. I didn't need to pick me up. This fast-paced book was just, it was out there. I mean, it had really, you know, good romance, and it had all the action and just a little bit of suspense. Nothing like you're trying to solve a mystery, but it was just really well rounded. The plot was developed great. The characters are, you know, 3-dimensional and complex, and I just totally love the book. And so yes, I definitely suggest you read it. I recommend it, top notch. As you can see, 0 cups of coffee. With that being said, that is the end of today's review. If you would like to purchase this book or connect with the author, I did put some links in the description down below. So please do grab a copy and come back and share with us what you think about the book. I would love that. Another thing I'd like to mention on this video is pretty soon there will be, you know, contests, and there will be giveaways and things like that. So be sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get notification when those things start. That is it for today, my book buddies. Thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, happy reading.